Welcome to Smart 24 TV, and today in our business forum we engage the principal of Makerere University Business School, Professor Waswa Balunywa, who is renowned as a management guru here in Africa. And as a policy analyst, we want to engage him in as far as the economic outlook of 2019 in Uganda is concerned. Welcome to the show, Professor.
Thank you very much.
Now, Prof, before I go into the questioning of the economy,
yes,
what was the highlight for you in 2018?
I should say the completion of major roads, major infrastructure. We had the dam in Jinja, the bridge in Jinja, we had the expressway, and a number of roads that have been completed, which is providing infrastructure for the country. I think those were the major highlights. There was a challenge in as far as agriculture production is concerned. We had a bumper harvest in maize, which I think we didn't manage very well. Farmers lost a bit of money, and maybe we could have done better. The other challenge, of course, is in the banking sector. What we've been seeing in the investigation of the central bank is unfortunate. Central bank should not be investigated in public. You'll see it affects the economy very adversely. But you know, the economy has been resilient in terms of its fundamental growth rates.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, now you're mentioning the same thing that everyone says. The economy has been growing, it's growing here and there. Right from 2016, 17 were said not to be so good, but still it shows that the economy has been growing. Is this growth real? Does it trickle down to the layman in Uganda?
The growth in the Uganda economy is real. Maybe the challenge is not enough. Various sectors have been growing. Construction has been growing, infrastructure is growing, and retail has been growing. And the challenge has been the growth rate in agriculture. If we have the growth rate in agriculture much higher than what it is, this economy will be doing better. The GDP, you know, is growing, but what we call economic growth, the production levels are growing. But economic development, which is the translation of that production into the ordinary people's pockets, has not taken place as it should have taken place. Of course, due to a number of factors, but the ordinary person is not becoming better relative to what the overall economy is. Yeah, so, you know, the World Bank has been saying that poverty has been reducing, though in recent years it's gone up again. But in overall terms, the poverty in the country is growing.
Okay.
Yes.
And why do you think it's the case?
The poverty is arising from the lower level of production in the agriculture sector. You have more people in the economy. People are producing very many children. Our population growth rate is very high. But the amount of growth in the economy does not correspond to the growth in the population. So the number of poor continues to be high. The number of unemployed continues to be high. And this is a challenge, that people don't have incomes. Poverty continues to be high in the country. Yes.
We have different stakeholders who could play a role in this. Do you have any recommendations for them, especially I would think maybe the policy makers?
Yeah, well, the Uganda economy, the team in economic policy has been doing a very good job. I mean, the Minister of Finance, the Bank of Uganda, they've done a great job. But there are several challenges. One is how much money are we putting into agriculture? If you really want to get the ordinary people out of poverty, you must put a little more money in agriculture. You must put a little more planning in agriculture. You know, government, there is Operation Wealth Creation, but what is happening to it? What is it doing to the economy? There is youth funds, women funds. What are these monies doing to the economy? So I think there is need for more money into the agriculture sector and a little more selectiveness in where the investment is being made.
Wow.
Yeah. Of course, the other challenges we have has been the education sector. UP is a good thing, but it's not doing very well. We need to make it much better than what it is. You need to keep children in school so that you reduce on the teenage pregnancies. So education needs to be reformed to make sure that it's much better than what it is now. Putting even more emphasis on technical and vocational education so that whoever is leaving at every level, every dropout at every level, must be able to have technical education, vocational education. So these are some of the issues that need to be addressed. Of course, there are much more than that. There's something to do with urbanization, the Islamization of the country. Too many people coming into the urban centers, and there's no plan. There's no way in which they're going to be handled. So this is causing more challenges. When people go into urban areas and they have nothing to eat, then the level of theft in the country increases because they have nothing to eat. The level of crime in the country increases. So these are things that need to be addressed.
Worked upon.
Yeah.
Well, Prof, 2019 is here, and everyone is excited about it. People are saying Happy New Year, but from an economic perspective, what do you think is going to happen in this year?
Well, the economy responds to stimulus from government. Government is committed on its policy of a free market economy. Those who are able to exploit it have done a great job. The Chinese, the Indians, all those people who want to do business in this country have done it well. The challenge is with the ordinary people, the ordinary Africans, that this growth is not coming out as well as is expected. The level of production within the ordinary people, the peasantry, as we call it, is not good enough. So you need the peasant to be able to produce more and also increase the productivity of that production for the economy to be much better. Otherwise, you still have the same people who are in the economy, the Chinese, our typical business people, those who are importing. They will continue to control the economy. We need to produce more and export more. Our imports are $6 billion and exports is $2 billion. That is not sustainable in the long run. Cheyo gives us a little bit more, maybe $1.2 billion. But Cheyo is not production within the country.
No, it's not.
So we need to bridge the gap between our exports and our imports. And this can only be done if we have increased production in the country and increased productivity in the country.
Wow. Wow. Now, you mentioned something to do with the Chinese and very many international players who are feeding off the Ugandan economy one way or the other. That's, if I'm not using a wrong word, feeding off. But last year, there was a very loud outcry of the biting Chinese loan, Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda. What is your take on this? Is it necessary?
Well, the problem with African countries who borrow money is that they do not have sufficient production to generate their own resources. And yet they are ambitious enough to want to invest more, especially in agriculture, in infrastructure, hoping to create an environment for more production. So what do you do when you don't have the money? Either you don't have that good or service, or you borrow to get it.
Yes.
Now, if you don't borrow wisely, you get into the problem. I mean, look at yourself.
Yes.
Go borrow money for a vehicle. And this is a vehicle you're using and you don't use it well. it doesn't generate any revenue for you. The consequence is you will have a debt which you can't pay. So African countries are not borrowing because they do not have enough revenues internally. They do not have enough revenues internally because they're not producing enough. They're importing more than what they're using. So there is need for African countries to really look at their production levels and produce more than what they're producing at the moment. And when they produce more, then they will be in a position to sell more and more profit, and also be able to have revenues they need to save and invest. So our problem is that we don't have incomes, therefore we don't have investment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting. So your take is the loan is okay, but
if you have capacity to pay it.
Yes.
Yes.
Interesting,
Yes.
Prof.
Yes.
Well, finally, as we close off, could you please make some opinion? Could you please advise our viewers in as far as the economy is concerned on how to behave in this year?
The viewers have two issues. One, viewers, the general public responds to signals from government.
Yes.
What is government saying in terms of economic policy, in terms of support, in terms of infrastructure? They will respond to that.
Yes.
Two, viewers, every individual has what you call an innate value. They have something within them which will make them either produce something or sit back and wait. So those who are able to produce something have done a great job. I mean, they're making the money. They're producing either maize or whatever it is, and they're selling it and they make lots of money. Those who don't produce anything are the type who are saying, government here to Yambe. They're the type who are going out to steal. They're the type who are lamenting about the role of government. Government should provide infrastructure and an enabling environment for people to do business and succeed. Government has no obligation to simply give out money to people. But when it does it, it's a distortion of the markets. Yes. So I'll urge Ugandans to go out and produce more. Go out and adopt modern technologies to increase your level of productivity.
Well, sorry, I had said finally, but you are the principal of Makerere University Business School, which has been ranked as one of the best in Eastern Central Africa, and it takes position of one of the top 5 in the continent itself. What is the university, as a business school, doing? What is the significance of the university's work within the economy?
Well, of course, the primary thing we've done is provide managers for the economy, and I believe that most of our graduates don't stay on the street for long. So we are filling that gap of the human resource gap of people who would drive the economy. 2, we're doing research in various areas to understand the performance of the economy. So in a sense, the school is being able to provide resources, research, develop new ideas, and increase access to education at the different levels.
Well, thank you so much, Professor Balunywa.
Thank you.
And we hope to get you more on this show.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thanks.